let's hear a round of applause for our first debaters today. Woo! And we welcome to the stage first our Prime Minister, Robert, who should not exceed a speech more than 3 minutes. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, please watch Jonathan for your time, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello and welcome. I'm the Prime Minister, Robert Black. I would like to thank my partner, Christoph, and I'd like to thank the opposition. I'd like to thank the audience and the timekeeper and the judge. So today's topic for our debate is going to be whether or not the school day should start until 9 a.m. And us as the government think that the school day should begin at 9 a.m. And our points as to why we believe so is, our first point is a student could be more well rested if the school day didn't start until 9 a.m. And there have been recent studies that show that that a brain isn't really fully functional until 10 a.m. Our second point is that it could promote healthy sleeping habits. You could get more rest after a long day, and you'd still be fully functional for school for the next day. And then our third and final point is that it could promote hygiene, so you would have more time after you wake up in the morning to get ready for school, take a shower, brush your teeth, wash your face, etc., etc. And one could have time to get homework done. So if you didn't finish, say, an assignment that you were supposed to bring home and do the previous day, you would have more time in the morning to get that done if the school day didn't start until 9 a.m. So to review, our points are: you would be more well rested. And then you could promote healthy sleeping habits, and it could promote hygiene, and you could get homework done. Thank you, everyone, and vote for government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:10.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. Thank you very much. Will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Chris to prepare his arguments? Okay, 1 minute, please, timekeeper. Audience, if you need to chit-chat, quietly do so with your partners by you.
What's the time again?
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
So, Christoph is member of government. Christoph is member of government?
Correct. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to switch pens if you want to have that help you keep track of the two openings.
Time.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you, timekeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our second speaker a round of applause, please, and welcome Chris to the stage. We'd like to remind the timekeeper and the speaker that this speech also should not exceed 3 minutes. Mr. Speaker, I need you to take your place at the microphone. Need to take your place at the microphone. Thank you. And if you would like to use notes, you may, gentlemen, this is delay of time. If you'd like to get going, we'd probably like to get going. All right, so timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, remember, this is a speech not to exceed 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and give him time, and whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Chris Mays. I would like to thank my partner, Ammi, for being here today. And I'd like to thank the government. And I would also like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper for being here today as well. And the topic we are discussing today is whether or not the school day should start at 9 a.m. And the point one that the government stated was that students could be more well rested during the day if they have more sleep, say school starting at 9 a.m. But we believe that if we push the time that the school day starts back further, that it will heavily affect after-school activities such as practices and choir and 8th hours, things like that. And the second point that the government put out is that it would promote healthy sleeping habits. And we believe that the person who is controlling their sleeping habits should be responsible enough to control the amount of sleep that they get, because that's something you can control on your own, not depending on whether the school day starts or when the school day starts. The third point is that it promotes hygiene. We also believe that this should be something more of a responsibility to the person, not necessarily to the school day. So that's that. And homework time increased was the fourth point that the government stated. And this is also another responsibility thing, not depending on whether the school day starts at 7:45 or 9 a.m., because the person themselves shouldn't have to be doing homework in the morning. They should have their homework done the night before. So that is our argument to the fourth point. My name is Chris Mays, and I would like to thank my partner, Ammi, audience judges and timekeeper for coming here today. And
Okay, let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
1:44.
1:44. Okay, thank you very much. Will you please, Mr. Timekeeper, put 1 minute on the clock for Christoph to please prepare his arguments. Again, audience, if you need to caucus, you may. Thank you, Timekeeper.
What was the time?
1 minute and 44 seconds.
44 seconds?
1 minute and 44. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Christoph, the second speaker for the government. Let's give a round of applause, please. All right, and we welcome Christoph to present his second speech for the government, not to exceed 3 minutes in time, please. Not to exceed 3 minutes. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Christoph March. I'm a member of the government, and I would like to thank my partner, Robert Lack, as the Prime Minister. I would like to thank the audience for being here, the judges and the timekeepers for doing their job, and the opposition for hearing our points. Our topic is, should the school day start at 9 a.m. earlier? And we take the side that it should start at 9 a.m. So, the opposition said that if you come to school later, it will affect after-school activities as their first point. We say that, yes, it will be later, but the extra rest will help your performance in those various activities as you will be more aware and awake. Their second point was that, or our second point was that it promotes healthy habits. They refuted it with, this should be a responsibility of the persons and not of the schools to be acknowledged by, and many people don't actually be responsible with their sleep time. Many teenagers in particular are not responsible in any form at all. This also helps with their third and fourth point that they made and tried to refute, is that teenagers are not responsible. Their third point being that hygiene does not increase by the more time you have in the morning. However, many people can relate. If they had more time, they could get all of their things done. They could take a little bit of a longer shower, brush their teeth a little bit more extensively. And then on their fourth point being homework, their responsibility. Another thing with responsibility comes in. Sometimes at the end of the day, many people just aren't really they just can't do it anymore because they're so tired. Some people can get home from after-school jobs they have at 9 or 10 sometimes, and then many people just don't feel like doing homework anymore. So they would take this time in the morning, just get up a little bit earlier at the regular 7 a.m. time and go to do their homework, as well as also maybe getting a good breakfast. So I would like to thank my partner, Robert, for being here, the audience, the judges, and the timekeepers. Also, I would like to thank the opposition. Just a quick recap would be, so the first point is you would be more well-rested, and this would help your performance. It would help with sleeping habits, hygiene, and homework. Thank you. Vote for the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
256.
I'm sorry, 2:56, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, 2:56. Thank you very much. All right, thank you, timekeeper. Will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Ammi to prepare his arguments, Mr. Timekeeper? Thank you. Go ahead and chit-chat, audience, if you need to.
So Ammi's opposition.
Again, maybe you want to switch pens, I'm not sure. I find it helpful sometimes.
Time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our second speaker from the opposition with a round of applause. We welcome Ammi. And we would like to remind both Timekeeper and Mr. Speaker, you can move it down. Just, yeah, there you go. And push the handle down, and then you can pull down. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we thank you, Timekeeper and Speaker. We remind you again, 3 minutes only. Please watch Jonathan for your time. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ammi Philippos. I'm the member of government. Member of opposition. I would like to thank my partner here for being here. I would like to thank the opposing team. I would like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeepers for being here. So the topic that we're talking about is if students should be able to wake up later in order to function better. And we, as the opposition, say no. Students should not. And the first point that the government brought up is athletes can rest after school. When they say that athletes will have a better performance after school, we as the opposition say that athletes have a short gap after school in which they can take power naps in order to function better during sports. And the second point that the government brought up is that later they wake up, the more time they have to brush their teeth, and they have time to take care of personal hygiene. But if a student wakes up later, they are more likely to sleep later and will not get the rest that they need. And the third point is teenagers don't get enough rest and cannot function in school. And so we say that teenagers can be responsible and take some power naps before. That's 30-minute to 40-minute power naps that enable them to still get good rest and at the same time can function well. And we would like to also list the 3 false statistics that they used, saying that teenagers are not responsible in their third point, and that teenagers lack energy and don't feel like doing homework. And yeah, that's it. I would like to thank my partner for once again being here, the government, and I would like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeepers. And remember to vote for the opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:14.
At 2:14, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 2:14. All right, now please remember, speakers. We're going back to Chris for this next one, okay, for Leader of Opposition. All right, would you please put 1 minute on the clock, please, timekeeper, for Chris to support his partner's ideas. Thank you. Okay, thank you, timekeeper. Let's go ahead and welcome Chris with a great round of applause, please, audience members, with the final speech for the opposition. Now this time, folks, not to exceed 2 minutes only. So timekeeper, remember it's only 2 minutes on the clock. Mr. Speaker, 2 minutes only. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hi, again. I'm Chris Mays, and I am the Leader of Opposition. And I would like to thank my partner, Ammi, and I would like to thank the government for being here today. And I would also like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeepers for viewing our debate. And for my speech now, I will review what we went over as the opposition. So our argument to the first point that the government made, which was that students could be more well-rested, was that they should be more responsible. And their argument to that was that if the time starts later for school, say 9 a.m., that people who are in after-school activities will have more rest. And we believe that this is a fallacy, as it cannot be proven for sure. Their second point to start with was that it was promoting healthy sleeping habits. And to that, we said they were to be responsible with their sleeping habits, and it was not the responsibility of the school or anyone else to watch their sleeping habits. Their third point was to promote hygiene, and our response to that was that it was a responsibility to the person, and their argument to that was teenagers are not responsible, which is also, I believe, is a fallacy because it cannot be proven, and that's like a sweeping generality. And they said in their fourth point that the homework time can be increased, but I believe that if students are given more time, they could, instead of using the time to do homework early in the morning, they could end up using their time or sleeping more. So we believe that's how they would use their time, not as homework time. My name is Chris Mays. I would like to thank my partner, Ammi, the government, audience, judges, and timekeeper.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. And that was right at 2 minutes then. Right at 2 minutes. Okay, if we could go ahead then, please. Thank you, timekeeper. And put 1 more minute on the clock for Robert to prepare his final statements. Remember, Robert, you need to refute what they say, okay? All right, thank you very much. 1 minute on the clock.
Time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our final speaker of the debate today, Robert, with a round of applause. We'd like to remind both speaker and timekeeper again that this speech should not exceed more than 2 minutes, please. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Wonderful. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Okay, my name is Robert. Hi again, and I would like to quickly thank my partner and the opposition and the audience, timekeeper, and the judges. Our topic today is whether or not the school day should start at 9 a.m. So our first point was athletes. They said that athletes have the time to. They said they refuted our point with athletes have the time to sleep after school. They should take power naps on their own time, but we feel that they use the points of power naps way too much to defend their refutes. Their second refute to us was that it's not a responsibility to the person on whether or on how they sleep, but if we look at the definition of the term school, school is a social institution to help people grow up, and we feel that if the school day started later, it would help that person get on better sleeping habits, and that would help them mature. And then they said on our third point that we used the fallacy of false statistics, but my partner clearly stated many teenagers. We did not give a specific number, and we feel that they relied on the use of power naps for more than one of their points, and we feel that they used it way too much to defend their points. So I would like to thank everyone again, the timekeeper, judges, audience, opposition, and vote for government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
1:58.
1:58. Let's give everybody who participated in this debate today a big round of applause. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Good job, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Way to go, guys. Way to go.